Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. Today we're gonna go through some funny Reddit questions. So without further ado, let's get started. What are some red flags for teachers that scream, drop this class immediately? I had a teacher that I loved but everyone hated. My economics teacher was an absolute madman. First day of economics, the madman goes, first rule, any and all cell phones are to remain off. If I see you using them, I will throw them out of the door. Now the cell phone rings and it's his. Madman looks at class, grabs his cell phone and throws it out of the door. Madman goes, didn't need to talk to my wife anyway. Didn't need to talk to my wife anyway, really? This is the kind of focus I am lacking. What's the most wholesome conspiracy theory? Rocks are soft until you touch them. Whoa, it cannot be real, could it? I don't think so, it could be real. Rocks are rocks. What profession was once highly respected but is now a complete joke? President. A wise man. You wake up in Kim Jong un's body, you can speak and understand Korean without getting assassinated by your commanders. How do you transition North Korea and its people from an Orwellian state of despair to a prosperous nation so you can then ride your fame to launch your career in music? The response is, Kim, is that you? Actually, it does make sense. Why would somebody ask this? You will get to choose a skill at which you will be best at, but instead of you getting better, everyone else just gets worse. What skill do you choose? Being a dumbass, now everyone is a sensible and intelligent and rational human being. Well, this is a very wise man. We need to save people like him. What is his name? Siri to whatever it is, you can see it on the screen. We need to save these people. Redditors, what started off as a small lie but then snowballed into this is my life now. Told a small lie to a girl I was texting that I love running. Don't know how it sold because I was fat. Start running the second after I sent that. 5 years later, I went from 298 to 180. Not bad. This is amazing. People that have friends. How? An extrovert finds you and adapts you. Ladies, what is the most obvious hint you have dropped that went unnoticed by a guy? Interesting. My current boyfriend and I started out in this weird friends that flirt stage. I was trying to find a way to get him to make a move. One very hot evening, middle of August, we were staying in his backyard with a few of our friends drinking beer. I sat on the same lawn chair as him, kind of wiggled in, and said I'm cold. He left me alone in the chair and proceeded to buy a giant fire. It took like an hour. When he was finished making the fire, he sat back down in a different lawn chair. No man passes up a good excuse to light shit on fire. What is something that was once considered to be a legend or myth that eventually turned out to be true? Well, not quite a perfect fit, but the one that always sticks in my mind was that the Mongolians would always boil their water before drinking to, getting rid of the tiny evil separates. That's a pretty good description of germs and bacteria for the time period. A very wise man again. Reddit, what's your top holy shit that worked moment? Had a laptop slide backwards on my lap, hit the floor and start working. Showed me an error screen and wouldn't start back up. Decided to turn it over and drop it from the same height onto its opposite side. Why not? It's already broken, right? And it started working again. Whoa. That should be noted for future IT issues. What are some good weird questions to ask someone to get to know them better? What do you hate? Seriously, you can have nothing in common with a person, but as soon as you realize you both hate the same thing, you will feel like that dude is family. Actually, it makes sense. I'll try it next time. You have been accepted for an experiment. You must stay in a room with nothing but bed, toilet, food, water, and no human contact for 1 month. If you succeed for the whole month without giving up, you will get $5 million. Do you accept? And what are your coping strategies to avoid mental breakdown? No human contact, I've already got that down. You know what? I can do this thing for $500. If historical figures actually did roll in their graves, which grave would generate the most power if hooked up to a generator? If Sir Isaac Newton knew that we were suggesting that a body at rest could spontaneously generate motion without being acted on by an external force, he'd start spinning in his grave. Reddit, what's your top holy shit that worked moment? I work on costumes in theater in NYC. About 2 years ago, I was sitting in the front row of a show and a button popped off one of the costumes. The next day, I took it back to the stage door with my resume and a little note that said, "This came off one of the costumes yesterday and I thought you might want it back. And while I have your attention, here is my resume." And that's the story of how I got my first job on a Broadway show. This is amazing. I'm happy for you, brother. What's a let that sink in fun fact? We are closer to the year 2040 than the year 1994. It kind of makes you feel older. Next. There's a room in your house where time doesn't flow. You could stay in there for as long as you could possibly want, and not a second will have paused outside that room. What would you use this room for? I had arranged all my social interactions to take place just outside the doorway, and then if someone says anything that needs a comeback, I can casually step inside and think of the perfect thing to say. What movie changes the plot if you add a random "or" somewhere in the title? Fantastic breasts and where to find them. Teachers of Reddit, what's the difference between 1997, 2007, and 2017 students? 1997, quit passing notes. 2007, quit texting. 2017, are you seriously watching Netflix right now? Whoa, Netflix and math? What would you do if Barack Obama knocked on your door with a suitcase and said he was going to stay with you for a few weeks? Wonder why he was here in rural England, but go put the kettle on. Your coffee, Mr. President. If all of a sudden all humans simultaneously lost the ability to sneeze, how long do you think it would take mankind as a collective to realize? This is the deepest shit I have read all day. I'm perplexed by this. Would we even realize? I can't remember the last time someone sneezed. Could it have happened already? When did I last sneeze? Oh god. Whoa. This was the end of today's video. I hope you guys like it. Please like, share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.